Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So, yesterday I decided to exercise my AMC A-List account, which, if you do use AMC, I definitely recommend it. The perks are incredible, and I decided to do a double feature for Transformers 1 and The Wild Robot. I've been wanting to see both of them. They both come out in the last couple weeks or so. Uh, Transformers 1 last, like 2 Fridays ago, and Wild Robot last Friday. And both of these movies reminded me of why we love animation. They were both incredible in their own ways, and I'm going to go in depth about all of them. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of the two movies? What did you like about them? What did you not like about them? But before we actually dive into specific plot points, all the fun stuff, going to issue a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen either of these and you would like to, just save this video and you'll watch later, and make sure to check it out after you do watch them if you care about spoilers. But if not, then come on right ahead with me. But first, let's start off with The Wild Robot. So, my biggest takeaway from this movie to me is a classic example of the importance of character. I don't think this movie has an overly complex plot. There's not this like massive amount of emphasis on world building, even though there is some breadcrumbs in there. But we'll get back to that later. Um, this movie does not have like a super complex or very important antagonistic or villainous feature. This movie is built on the backbone of its characters. Whether that be Roz, the main character, the protagonist. We've got Bright Bill, the uh, the secondary protagonist, and we've got Think as well, the fox. Their individual arcs in this movie are not un they're not unheard of arcs, and they're not very original, but they are just so well done. They are incredible. Let's start with Think. The classic, like, I know he's a fox, but the classic lone wolf, like, no one likes me, I don't like anyone, I don't trust anyone, like, I don't know what it means to have compassion and empathy and love, because I never had that in my own life due to circumstances. But the ability to overcome that, swallow his pride to tell the beaver, I'm forgetting his name, that he was cool and he apologizes. That was so well done. Bright Bill, the dorky nerdy kid, who then has to realize that, who comes to this big realization that how he's been brought up, that it isn't how it isn't in the world, and having to step up to the plate and overcome that insecurity and anxiety and uncertainty in your life. We've seen that. That's tried and true, but that doesn't mean it's not exceptionally well done here. And then Roz, I mean, incredible, absolutely incredible. This well-intentioned but admittedly a nuisance, who has to learn to be creative and to learn how to feel and think on your own, and honestly what it means to be human. Um, I think that's an incredible journey. And like I said, all three of these arcs we've seen before, but I'm going to emphasize it again. They are so well done, and they make all three of these characters exceptionally, exceptionally, exceptionally relatable. And then you've got the other animals. You've got the bear, you've got the beaver, you've got the geese. All their characterizations are done so well. This movie just drills, 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 drills character into you. There's just no way. This isn't like other movies that come out this year, like maybe a Dune 2, where, it's this big, huge, encompassing universe, and there's world building, and there's a very complex, deep plot. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. That is not the point of this movie. Um, and that's okay. I think honestly, what it reminds me kind of is, I won't make that comparison. Never mind. But I just think that the characterization is so well done in this movie of kind of our three leads that I think that's what is the heart, the core of this. What this movie is trying to tell you is how to overcome your flaws and to be better. I think it's so human. This movie is just so human. That compassion, that empathy, that I think is at the core of humanity. I think this movie exemplifies that tenfold. Some other things. The ending, so emotional. Totally did not cry or sob at all. Totally did not do that. No, no, did not tear up at any point in this movie. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, animation. The animation is gorgeous in this movie. Oh God. And I think what was really funny as I was watching, there been some other, post COVID, we have seen some truly not great animation, not great special effects. In the lab aspects of these films that we see. Wish literally looks like ChatGPT made it. So to see, and then while I was waiting, or I was watching the previews, I was watching Pedro and Marie or something like that dog and that cat movie where they get lost. It was horrible. The animation in the movie was atrocious. So whenever I see, the trailers for that compared to something like this, I think it just makes it even pop out, stand out even more. I thought what was really cool, really, really, really cool. This is so small, but if there was like a shot where they were looking down or they were looking up, like directly up or directly down, the floor in the sky looked so flat, but there was a lot of like for example, I there's one shot in the movie that I'm thinking of where a squirrel is looking down at Roz as she's walking, and like the floor is so like the plants aren't really like coming up, like they're so flat. But I think that but then it just makes like the trees and Roz pop up and make Roz even stand more out of place because you get to see more of Roz. And I think that was just like a little thing, but it was just like something I noticed that I just absolutely loved. It was so little and so small. But the animation here is absolutely gorgeous. I'm intrigued by, and I cannot remember what the corporation's life or what the corporation's name for the life of me is, but um, I've said this before on this channel. I keep saying it. I keep saying it. I keep saying it. And I think this is especially fitting because this movie has come out around the same time that a particularly bad hurricane has come out. This movie's got a lot to say on environmentalism, climate change, like flooded cities, Golden Gate Bridge been flooded, like they've had to reconcile all to this one dome. And so whenever you hear people say this is just a side tangent, especially with the VP debate going on literally in my living room right now, um, that they wish they would keep politics out of films and TV, they don't do that. Almost everything you consume has some political subtext in it. Not that this is like an overtly political movie, like in no way capacity, but it's just a shining example of there's always a subliminal message in there and how destructive humanity can be towards nature and towards the environment. That's a core theme of this movie and how intrusive technology and humanity can be against nature and how maybe we should check ourselves and not treat nature as a task, right? That's at the core of this movie. Humanity. Back to humanity and empathy again. This movie is so emphasizes humanity and empathy so much, and I think that's why I really identified with it. Overall, a movie that pulls on the heartstrings, The Wild Robot is a classic example of the importance of character. Without needing a complex plot, Roz, Think, and Brightville suck you into this narrative just on the back of their dynamic. Roz's progression from well-intentioned nuisance to more human than any of us was incredible. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And damn it, I hate when these robot movie makes me cry. All right, but that's The Wild Robot. So now let's jump into Transformers 1. Wow. I was genuinely and truly blown away. I had heard some like very hyperbolic claims with this movie. I was hearing Spider-Verse comparisons. Do you know what type of clout you got to be getting Spider-Verse comps? We're talking two of the best animated movies ever. Into the Spider-Verse, I think is a little better than Across the Spider-Verse, but um, two of the best animated movies ever, maybe the best animated movie ever, potentially. So they get those level of comps. Like I really was trying to like temper my expectations going into the movie because I didn't want to be disappointed. Um, and it absolutely is blown away. It's rare for me to like walk out of them. I am genuinely very positive in my reviews of movies. I genuinely, in general, enjoy media that I consume. I'm just a positive, optimistic person. It's just in my nature and stuff. But very rarely do I leave the movie theater like blown away, like truly astonished and blown away about what I've consumed. And I think this movie fits that bill astronomically well. Um, let's just go down the list of things that I really, really just loved about this movie. Um, Megatron is the absolute star of this show. No question. No question. I think he's got A, the most compelling arc, and B, the most compelling arc, the best arc. And I would say his arc is the strongest throughout the entire course of the movie. I feel like Optimus is a little flat and generic until like the third act, and then that's when it really, or until the back half of the movie, that's when it really starts to pick up. Um, but let's start with Megatron. I think I just harped on the fact that maybe Roz's and Thinks and Bright Bill's arcs were not the most original plot or the most original arcs we've ever seen in a movie, but for me, really, like I think Megatron's arc of being so devoted to the system that is the only thing you have hope to, and being so blindly devoted and loyal to. And then whenever you find out that entire system is built on lies, betrayal, deception, and it's the only thing you have hope for, right? Is the only thing you are holding on to when you're laying there at night thinking about how bad your life is. This is what you have. It's the only thing you have. And to have it ripped away from you against your will, honestly, it's not like Megatron went on this arc to go uncover the truth of the system. He gets whipped up in this whirlwind adventure and to have your entire world shattered in front of you. And then to not think, oh, I'm not going to be optimistic and hope to change it. I'm going to burn it to the ground. I'm going to start from scratch and build something that will give me hope. But to do it in the manner they did is, I think, is a really, really unexplored archetype that we don't really see that often in media. Absolutely smash hit, absolutely nuts the amount of characterization they were able to fit in this short in this length of a film. Absolutely incredible. Voice acting was top tier. I want him to die, or I want to kill him. That line. I have nothing to lose. Just bar. You want the strength of one robot, or like something like that. I don't remember the exact line, but just bar after bar after bar after bar. And I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he crushed it. Absolutely the best voice acting in the film, like no question. We'll touch on that subject here in a little bit, but Megatron, out of this world, incredible in this movie. Let's talk about Optimus Prime, his counterpart. I think they're honestly, it's giving Magneto and Professor X. Like that relationship is so fundamental to the fabric of this movie, to the core of this film. I really like Optimus movie a lot. I feel like he's just a little more his arc is just done super exceptionally well. Done just a touch worse than Megatron, just because I feel like the progression is not as strong as um Megatron's is, but still like through the roof excellent. This I think honestly it kind of reminds me of kind of like a very flat Steve Rogers type of arc that he goes through in the MCU, like because at first he is presented as reckless and kind of idiotic and this kind of careless figure, but it's just that hope and optimism he has for the world, for his life, for him and Dee. And as the film progresses, and as the smoke and mirrors are stripped away, we see that carelessness and recklessness is actually just optimism. It's faith. It's empathy. It's humanity. Once again, humanity. I brought that up again, but so it's a very his morals and beliefs do not change throughout the movie, much like Steve's don't. But as the world changes, we change our perception of how those beliefs are actually coming forth through the movie. Loved them, loved them individually, loved their dynamic. Absolutely loved it. Their final fight was so well done. I'm not saving you anymore. Megatron dropping off of that. So well done. So excellently well done. I mean, just absolutely incredible. The two of them are just mwah, mwah, chef's kiss, chef's kiss. Let's see. I like Bumblebee in this movie. I definitely think he's got like the most kiddish humor in the film, which you expect that out of an animated movie. So but I like him in this movie a lot. I like him in this movie. Alita ScarJo, liked her. She was solid. No really big takeaways there. Centennial. Oh my God, not Centennial. Jesus, Sentinel Prime. Um, Actually, side note, real quick. I like the inversion of the dynamics with these characters that we normally have, in these movies, because this is like more origin. Like Sentinel Prime in the Bay movies is the first Prime, but he still portrays Optimus and Megatron, but Starscream isn't just immediately Megatron's lackey. Of course, Optimus and Bumblebee are still friends, but Optimus is not just off rip. The leader of the Autobots. Um, so I like that aspect that this film kind of oh like subverted or changed up the dynamics. But speaking of Centennial Prime, I liked him a lot. I just liked that he was charismatic and evil for the fun of it, for the hell of it. No other reason other than the fact that he's power hungry. There's no sad motivation. There's no redemption. There's no relatability. He's just a shitty person. Just downright not a good character in his core, in his heart. And I appreciate that. I love a good sympathetic villain, but sometimes it's great just to have a bad guy. Straight up. Arachnid, really cool design. She was kind of creepy, but she was cool. Um, the animation, oh my god. Some of the details in this movie were nuts. I think and I don't know like the technology behind this. I think this movie's got like really interesting like frame rates, and I don't know like specifically what it was, but like the speed of the animation was really interesting. It was really appealing to my eye. After Megatron's eyes glow red, and it was kind of like lagging almost. Yeah, that was so cool. I freaking love that. I was eating that up in the movie theater. Um, just the acts that the Optimus has at the end of the movie, just the fights, the action, the choreography, the animation, the creativity of the city, the way the tracks would build up and all the roads and stuff like that. The Icon 5,500 or whatever the race was. That scene was so fun and so cool. I loved that so much. I think there's just so many really fun scenes in this movie. But then, oh, and then like the twist with the Primes being betrayed by Sentinel, really, really just well done. A lot of really great moments in this movie. My only two nick Here are my only two nitpicks and why I'm not gonna give this film a 10 out of 10. Um, I felt like there being a twist was just way too obvious. Like Sentinel's tone and attitude, and just the general dystopia or utopia type aspect. Um, like a twist coming was like a little too obvious, and maybe that's just me being critical, but that's just something I like noticed that I was like, didn't just like love that. I wish the twist would have been maybe like the punch. Like the actual twist itself is really good and I liked it, but just like you could see that a twist is coming from a mile away. Um and the voice acting in this movie was not perfect. Um I think to me the sign of a great voice actor is that I can't really tell that it's you, or I'm not like overtly like thinking about, oh my god, this is literally just Scarlett Johansson talking into a mic. Like I think Mark Hamill's great. Like obviously, like I know it's Mark Hamill as the Joker, and he was actually the bear in this movie. I didn't know that till the credits, but in the Wild Robot. But like I'm not like, oh my god, that's Mark Hamill when I'm watching Batman the Animated Series. Like it's not like so obvious in my brain. ScarJo's was just like really like I was like, oh my god, that's Scarlett Johansson talking to a mic. And Chris Hemsworth, the first half of this movie, his voice acting is really, really shaky. Really shaky. He was bouncing back and forth between this American accent and his Australian accent, and I just needed him to pick one. And towards the movie, he like blended it a lot, or towards the end of the movie, he blended it a lot better. It was definitely more Australian than it was American, but it was very good at the end of the movie. I just wish that it would have been that consistent throughout. And also I don't think the plot of this movie is like just like overly, it's a little simple, it's a little basic. However, once again emphasize the animation and the dynamics and the dynamic between Prime and Megatron and those two characters individually really, really, really make this a standout. Overall, wow, wow, wow. A film that truly blew me away. There's so much to brag about on this movie. The animation, the dynamic between Megatron and Optimus, Sentinel Prime, and the supporting cast. Despite an admittedly lower level plot and voice acting compared to the other extraordinary aspects of the film, I want to emphasize that. Transformers 1 serves as a standout of the year and a medium as the whole. 9 out of 5. Transformers, roll out. So thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys check out the link content above. Like, comment, subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. And have a great day. Thanks.